We left Corbett National Park, returning to the river edge where we had lunch and did some birding, while we waited to exchange our jeeps for cars that would carry us the next 5 days. We drove north into the Himalayas, passing through rivers and towns as we rose higher and higher. Our destination was Manila, not pronounced Manila. The weather was changing, getting colder, with passing showers, and the road was getting narrow. We felt protected by Ganesh, which all our drivers had on the dashboard. We stopped several times for some roadside birding, adding a few new species. The sun was setting as we made one final stop to see one of the target birds of the trip, the cheer pheasant, considered vulnerable due to habitat loss. We arrived after dark, had dinner at the lodge, without beer, then had a cold but fruitful walk, adding the mountain scops owl. We stayed the night at a guest house up from the birding lodge, with no heat, with nighttime temperatures near zero. But it redeemed itself for the sunrise on its balcony. We headed out in the cold temperatures, our elevation over 2,000 meters. The views were amazing, making it hard at times to focus on the birds. We had a successful morning, adding 21 new birds to our life list, except I had no sightings or photos of the #1 target bird here, the Coquelas pheasant. After birding, we had breakfast at the lodge, which made Corbett look posh. We coffee drinkers would discover it would be difficult for the next several days. Plus, we coveted the jam. We embarked on a really long drive, going back the way we came, with the towering Himalayas, filled with soaring raptors, always behind us. We stopped along the way birding, seeing the deforestation that is putting pressure on the forest species. But adding some nice species to our list. I even learned a bird call. Back at the river, we headed northeast back into the mountains, birding all the way. Our next 4 days would be in Nainital. The region is the Lake District of India. Fresh air and cool temperatures make it a huge tourist center for Indians wanting to escape the bad air and heat of Delhi. Our home for the next 2 days would be the next cottages in Pangot, perched on the side of the mountain at over 2,000 meters. The skies were cloudless, the temperatures cold, but the cottages were comfortable. The lodge supplied space heaters, which doubled as a clothes dryer, until I set my socks on fire. We had our meals there, but no beer. We started the next morning with breathtaking views of a Himalayan sunrise, even spotting wild goats and Nepal's sacred langurs. Amazing scenery and birds would fill our very long day. We had our packed breakfast in the pine forest at 2,700 meters, the highest we would go. Curving our way through the narrow roads, we stopped many times to peer down the steep slopes looking for the coal-class pheasant, other high-elevation birds. We constantly switched between the birds and the beauty of the mountains. With the Nanda Devi, Trishul, and Nanda Kot peaks looming, the tallest over 7,400 meters, that is 25,000 feet. We returned to the nest for lunch and some local birding. After a short break, we drove below the town, down to a small river, adding great birds like the spotted forktail. We ended the day in an area known as Cheer Point, which became one of the more fruitful spots. Ending our day with some monkey business. The next morning we searched in vain for the coal-class pheasant, then set out for the short drive to Sattal. Along the way, we stopped at a secret location for wood owls. Then we passed the overlook of the Himalayas that is a huge tourist attraction. We stopped in Nainital and birded around the town, providing more local color than new birds, then headed to Sattal for the next 2 nights. Sattal would be a highlight. Sattal means 7 lakes. The 7 freshwater lakes are mysteriously interconnected and surrounded by oak forest. We birded several areas. Chafi is a small village where riparian species are attracted to the glacial waters of the Khalsa River. We would walk along the river, and into the fields and the town itself. A highlight was calling in a bay-banded cuckoo, and having the locals allow us to go into their house to see it. We also walked around the lakes and nature trails that border them, added the uncommon and usually difficult to see brown bullfinch. But the highlight would be the bird hides. Recent turmoil had us doubtful they would be open, but they were. Our first was on the property of Wild Kuman where we stayed. Not all the visitors air birds. The following morning, we visited a second hide on the grounds of an old Christian church. Packed into the hide, we happily watched and clicked away, with wave after wave of birds coming to the feeders. A photographer's dream. Our time in Nainital area added 54 more new life list birds. We said goodbye to our drivers, returned to our bus, and drove over 6 hours back to Delhi, passing the Ganges at the Gar Ghat, a large ritual bathing and cremation site. We stopped at a huge dhaba for lunch that looked like it belonged in Las Vegas, with tasty gelato afterwards. We arrived back in Delhi still with no beer. As we rested to start the southern part of our journey, the next stop would be in Agra, the Taj Mahal, the Chambal River, and Bharatpur.